Is this happening? Am I live? Oh, cool. Here we go. Oh, I did say I was going to go see what questions were on, but I don't know how to access the questions without jumping out of Instagram. Is there a way to do that? Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Kishwa is here. What an absolute honor to have a former finalist of last season here. Thank you, Kishwa. I hope you're proud with some South Asian representation in my food. Thank you, everyone. Amber, I think it starts at 7:30 p.m. WA time. Kumzi, why am I so handsome? Because my parents have amazing genetics. Rebecca, hang on, let me see if I can. How do I do this? Let me just see if I can. Can someone comment below how you? Let me see. Let's see. Thank you, Nikki. Look, I'm still trying to figure this out. I can't remember the last time. All right, so here we go. Tommy's asked a question. Do you wear Jana's combo through the whole series? What are Jana's? It's like runners with what's Jana's? Help me out here. Okay, fair enough. Go to bed. It must be pretty late in New Zealand. Hi, Manoli. Hi, Maddie. Why were you on Instagram? Get off Instagram. You're at a birthday party. Thank you, Susie, Fitbit listener, very much. This is very cool. All right, Manoli, Kishwa, you guys up for a chat? I might add you guys here just to see how you go. I don't know how to add people. So Manoli said Jerry Seinfeld calling the look. Thank you very much. Here we go. Yeah, fair enough, Rebecca Gibney. It is 11:30 in New Zealand, so congratulations on your dish as well. The white bread was well buttered, as the judges said, but I remember that frittata was delicious. All right, let me see. Here you go. Let's see if that works. Let's see. Thank you. The Kiribati was divine. I was very nervous about that because that was I was actually. Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Hello. My God, you looked very rugged up. That doesn't look like a traditional Bengali outfit.
It is. This is how cold it is in Bangladesh at the moment.
Thanks so much for joining this, and thanks for watching the episode as well.
It was so exciting. It's so exciting seeing that kitchen again.
Right.
And the nerves and the pressure. How was your first cook? How was it?
Well, you saw, like, we had a lot of fun, and I'm so excited that the producers and everyone behind the scenes have managed to capture that excitement that we were having, right? That you can tell that it was a fun environment. But as you know, the closer you get towards that last 20 minutes or so, the jokes all stopped. Like, it became so hectic, and it's almost like you're running a marathon initially, and then the last bit, it's a sprint. And it was brutal. But sorry?
Time disappears right at the end.
And then the plating, right? You always forget that there was, like, because you still need time to plate it. Someone has just commented and said the curry king and queen. I think that is lovely.
That Randan looked absolutely amazing. Kudos to you. I think it was really brave using the pressure cooker in the very first cook in in MasterChef. It brought a lot of us down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
kudos to you for making the pressure cooker work, doing such a good job, keeping everything, moist. And you know what? Watching MasterChef, it looked like you were all having a lot of fun. I think there was a lot less pressure than when we were there. I think
yeah,
you've all been on TV before and like just joking around, and it just looked like a lot of fun.
well, I suppose for us, the expectations are lower. You know what I mean? So, we might maybe able to get away with maybe like more mediocre stuff. So because we're not known for our cooking or whatever. So maybe that's why we were able to relax a bit more.
Yeah, maybe, but the food looked amazing. A lot of the things, a lot of the techniques that everyone was using was some of the things that we were expected to know by the time we got into the MasterChef kitchen, like making your own pasta. And then, you plated up 3 or 4 dishes in that amount of time. So it looks fantastic, and it's such a fun season to watch as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You mentioned the pressure cooker. Actually, in the lead up from the time I found out I was going to be doing the show, because the rendang is normally just in the oven for like 2 to 3 hours. And so obviously in the MasterChef, you don't get that time. So I bought a pressure cooker just to practice the rendang in the pressure cooker. But it actually didn't make the edit. But my time in my pressure cooker at home versus the pressure cooker in the kitchen was a bit off. So for example, it takes like 10 minutes to actually pressurize.
Yep.
Whereas the one in the MasterChef took 15 minutes, I think. And then when undoing it as well, like I think I pulled it out early, which obviously didn't make the edit, but I was really scared whether it was not tender enough and so pressure cooker is not a friend in that kitchen. You can't put it back in, right?
Yeah, you can't put it back in once it's done. Once you've let the pressure out, you have to sort of wait another 15 minutes for the pressure to build up again. So yeah, absolutely. So I think it was a really brave move and it paid off. It was a big risk, but big gain. So where's now, or do we have to wait and watch?
What do you mean? What do you want to wait and watch?
Where's the pin now? What have you done with the gold?
Exactly. I can't reveal obviously what happens. I hear Minol has joined us as well. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, you can hear you very well.
Oh my gosh. I was like screaming at the television. And before I was like, I'm like, yes, come on, like stick to Sri Lankan. And you did. Oh, and you cooked kiri bath. My mouth is still watering. But so good.
You guys know this. It's such an easy dish, right? For me, kiribat is what I'm known for and what I'm famous for, which is what the Brit said. But it's such an easier dish to make. I felt like I had to do something else, but I didn't at the time know any other Sri Lankan curry.
I think we went through the same sort of journey as well. Things that to us, like kiribat or dal bhat at our we think we undermine it, or we think, it doesn't belong on a stage like MasterChef Australia, which is like the biggest food platform in the world.
Right.
But the truth is, sometimes the simple things that we take for granted is what we should be sharing with the world. It's the food that we should really sort of open up and say, hey, this is not what you find at a restaurant. This is what you find in the heart of our home. And it's such a fantastic thing to share. And now your recipe will be up on the 10play website and we can make it.
I know. And I have to I gave a shout out to my girlfriend's mom who gave me the recipe, which obviously for editing reasons, that bit didn't make the cut. It could be because of that, or also in the actual tasting. I said, I made this Sri Lankan dish because I'm Sri Lankan, and then this is a Indonesian dish from my girlfriend's mom, who is not Indonesian, but she's just a Bogan who goes to Bali a lot. I don't know whether that's the reason they took it out. I'm not sure, but it's true. They love
the reason to make the cut.
But yeah, I got the recipe from her. There's this white, Aussie from WA, and it is a really, really tasty rendang. And I'm genuinely I think this is the best thing about the whole being asked to do the show, because everything I said is true. I only started really cooking in the pandemic. Yeah. So this forced me to start learning stuff. Yeah. And what it has done is, for me, cooking as a process was never something that I enjoyed, because if you're bad at it, this is what happens to me, right? If you're bad at cooking, you have to chop everything up, especially if you're cooking for one person, you've got to quarter it by 4. Like every recipe is for a family of 4. So first I'm missing mom and dad. I'm crying while I'm looking at the recipes for a family of 4, living alone in Australia. And then after I divvy it up by 4, then the ratios are all off. So it tastes like crap. So then I put it in the freezer. For whom, I don't fucking know, because it just is going to take defrosted anyway, so it just stays in the fridge, taking up valuable gelato space. So I was like, forget it, cut off the middle person and just get takeaway. But with the pandemic, when I finally decided I'll try and actually, you know, learn, and now I actually love the process. Like, to me, it's really exciting that the irony of something like this with today's show is that what are you famous for a dish, and I wasn't for anything, but this one now I'm be like, well, I'm famous for a rendang because it was on a television show.
And do you know, literally every single person in Sri Lanka you will now be a national hero because you have made such an iconic dish in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Like globally renowned. Yeah.
The fact
Get ready for that.
Yeah. I try to take pardon the pun, leaf out of your book, and I use banana leaf in a future episode.
Yes.
Now, the two of you, was it watching back today's celebrity version of the show? Were you guys just like, oh my God, look at this open mic level amateur bullshit that we're having to watch? Look at all the stuff we had to do. Look at the pressures they put us under, and they're getting like 90 minutes to cook.
I was pissed off at the judges. I was like, come on, have a bit more fun with us. Like, they look like they're having the best time ever. And we were like, holy shit, oh my God, like our lives depend on this. But you guys had the best time. Well, it seemed like you guys were having the best time.
To say, watching today's episode, I realized what a huge MasterChef fan I am. I love MasterChef on TV with my family. We were screaming at the TV. I was almost crying when Chrissy took her. And it's the moments that MasterChef creates. When Chrissy took her dish, Rebecca Gibney spoke about what the dish meant to her. My heart was just like, I absolutely love this show because it is food from your home and it is sharing your stories through food. And that's what I absolutely love about it. Like, it was fantastic being on MasterChef. But I have to say, watching it, it's just such a fantastic show to watch. And like, I was right there, transported right back into the kitchen and going on that journey with you guys. But even when all of your names up and you have to come and stand at the front, and we know how long tastings take as well. Min, remember that?
Yeah.
People might not know. They might not know how long the actual tastings take because it looks quite quickly edited. But here's something that probably won't make the cut ever, but I had a back injury the whole way through the show, which happened before the show. So a lot of the time you see me, like when everyone's running to the pantry, you see me like limping towards it. And there's even like a belt strap that I have in there that's got my whole like belly. Yeah, but I'm glad the apron was there to cover that most of that.
Well. Did you have a favorite bench? Did you have a favorite spot that was like strategic to you that you?
Oh wait, hang on. We got one more.
What the fuck is going on here? How are you, mate?
I was well, pretty excited. It was quite nice to watch back that first day. But I'll tell you what, like I said to you in a text, hearing your voice gave me like PTSD flashbacks.
Kishwa Manoli, how are you?
I'm good, Jock. How are you?
Right. Never better.
Too much fun with the celebrities, and you didn't have enough fun with us.
I was like, come on, could have been a bit lighter with us. I was like scared shitless the whole time.
Come on, now. It's not so bad.
What do you think goes and helps Chrissy with her oven and stuff like that? Did you guys get any of that?
All the time. I think Jock, like so much chivalry in the kitchen. Jock helped me a lot. Jock, you cooked most of my dishes, didn't you?
That is so not true. But I think, look, I think a lot of people don't see, a lot of viewers don't see everything, right? Like it's like the judges' feedback. It's like we all say a lot of stuff, and then it gets edited down into a little bit of stuff. Or we might all say the same thing. We might say different stuff or whatever. And likewise, it's like, you know, I think Twitter's such a nasty place, but Twitter gets on its high horse, and you see people going, "Oh, you're making them doubt themselves." It's like, I'm not making you doubt yourself. I'm just like going, you know, like, do you think that's a good idea? Like, Dilruk, how many times did I say to you, you sure you want to do that? Like, I'm not trying to put a seeded doubt in your mind. I'm just genuinely asking if you're sure that's a good idea.
And plus, at the end of the day, it is a TV show. You know what I mean? That's there for entertainment purposes. So I completely get that. But Jock would go and switch off my oven and stuff like that just to fuck with me. So
oh, come on. Hey, Dilruk, I've got a question. Did you think, like, when you started toasting coconut, went in the bin, like, there was a whole heap of stuff going on in your cook, mate. Did you think that you were going to win that pin?
Okay, well, I still don't reckon I did. I think I still don't believe it. It looked real on screen, but it feels like it. But I'm speaking of the toasted, the burnt coconut. I'm glad I got the first fireball of the series. You know, where they cut to an ad break, where some shit's gone wrong. You know,
Nice.
With Jock saying something, if you don't get this right, you're going home. Fireball. So you know. So this time it was my own as a tipping coconut. So yeah, absolutely, Jock. And I said to the guys before that something that didn't make the edit was the pressure cooker that I'd practiced at home with was different to the MasterChef one, and it actually threw my timing off at the end. So I actually removed the beef from the pressure cooker before it actually finished. So that was a lot of nerves there for me, thinking was it good enough or not. But I thought it. Because I think Rebecca tasted it and was raving about it on the day. So I'm like, oh, at least I know it, you know, it went well. My hint that it might have gone better than I thought was you, Jock. You just kept eating after the tasting. You know, I'd gone back. You still eating the beef over and over again. I'm like, oh, that's a good sign. That's a great sign.
That's the biggest giveaway, which is behind the scenes on MasterChef. When Jock's standing at your bench and just eating out of the pot. You might, you know, Jock not leaving.
You can always tell. Listen, I think for me, one of the things that watching the ep tonight, it seems like a million years ago since we filmed that, but what was evident to me was how quickly all you lot got on together, and it was the same in season 13 with Kishwa and Manoli and everyone else that was on that season. But with you guys, you're all celebs, you've all got egos and whatever. Like, granted, you're the funniest one in the bunch, as you should be. But what I thought it was amazing, the camaraderie that you could even see in that first ep. And you guys had only hung out for a day or two. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was that thing of like, that's one of the things I think is great about MasterChef, because there's no drama between in the show. So I don't think it lends itself to any kind of disagreements there. All the drama is in the cooking and your individual cook. So it's not like a show that they might ask you a probing question going, oh, you know, Thorpe is doing this. How does that make you feel? Or anything like that. They don't try to push you down that angle. So instead, it forced us to then just, you know, collaborate with each other and really enjoy each other's cooking. And I think the highlight for me was after the camera going around and tasting everyone else's cooking. Like, if I'm in a comedy competition, I don't want anyone else's jokes to be better than mine. But in this, you're like, yeah, no, I want to taste everyone's food.
But you got Manoli and Kishwa, like, you know, as well. You would have both, I imagine, anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys would have learned as much from fellow contestants as you would from guest chefs or challenges or mystery boxes or anything like that as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, like, when there's so many people, it's really important to not get distracted with, you know, a skill that someone else might have. Because I know at the start I did, and I was like, oh my God, I have no idea how to cook, because I didn't know how to cook one other thing. But everyone learns so much, Kish.
Yeah,
like, so much. Yeah.
The feedback, because the feedback is so a little bit of it on me. When we're standing there, especially when there's 24 of us and still like 20 or 15 of us, when you go through everybody's feedback, you know what, you learn quickly the mistakes not to make. So you're sort of always honing your own skills, but you're thinking, if I were to do this, or what are you looking for in the perfect pasta? What are you looking for in the perfect pastry, or whatever it is? We're learning from all the feedback and learning from each other and the mistakes that I guess we're all making together and growing. So as we go through the competition, we sort of all share very similar recipes, and then stop making all of those mistakes.
I think one of the things I learned from everyone else is actually similar to what you're saying, Manoli, but the kind of the opposite end of it, which is realizing that everyone's best cook was whatever was authentically like true to them, and not to sort of like, and it's to draw a similarity with stand-up comedy as well. It's like the funniest comedian isn't necessarily doing the same thing. It's like whatever is they can sell better. And I found that out later, because I think, like, you know, obviously I'm limited in what I can talk about, given that this show is only just, you know, F1 going, yeah. But there was things where I would see, like, say, Nick making pasta, and I was like, what, fuck, we need to learn how to make pasta from scratch. Where's the packet? Like that, you know? Like, you know? But I realized there's no, like, I have a certain palate that I've developed, you know, being in Sri Lanka for 19 years. Why pretend, why try to do too much when you already have a gift in that form, and try and just, you know, be true to that? And I think that was a lesson in a way, similar to what you're saying, Manoli, but the opposite end, going, okay, you do you, boo. That was kind of the way I kind of went it, you know? And then just, you know, I think that was for me, that's how I felt like we all learned from each other. And then getting to taste everyone's food afterwards made it more, like, I'm sure for you as well, Jock, having a variety of palates, you know, cuisines to choose from.
Totally. But also I think it's okay not to, it's okay to be inspired by something that you don't know or own or isn't from your wheelhouse or culture or whatever. Like, it's okay if you're, you know, if you're white and you cook a rendang because you fucking love it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's all right. Like, don't be afraid that there seems to be this weird thing now that you're only allowed to cook a dish from your culture or something. It's like, come on.
Otherwise, it's
like, you know, we all, we're all one. It's okay. Yeah. You know, and if you're, I mean, you have to,
because you only have haggis to offer otherwise.
Come on now. What about fish and chips? What about, like, I could give you a long list of very famous Scottish things, mate. Don't get me started. No, but I think it's being inspired by something leads you down a road. And, you know, I've got to say, both Kishwa and Manoli showed that in season 13, where, you know, going out and cooking dishes that were so unexpected. You know, one that has an impact on us as a judge, where all of a sudden it's like, wow, where did that come from? Especially when it's good. But secondly, there is a path of development of somebody, right? And I think that's a great thing, you know. And so and I love you did it as well, Dilruk. And you're right, you know, you can't say too much, neither can I. But you know, as the competition develops, you start to see you cook dishes that are outside your comfort zone because you've been inspired by everyone around you, or challenges, or ingredients, even when you go in the MasterChef pantry. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so. But it is a very interesting point that you bring up about people's reactions to certain cooks, because I know a big part of my year is, like, I literally deleted Twitter last year because I just found it so toxic as an environment. And then what I've realized, people get so passionate about what they think something needs to be. Even if, like, sense of humor, for example, people are upset if you're not funny, not because they didn't have a good time, because you are wrong and you shouldn't be paid for what you do. You can't call that comedy. It's like, it doesn't agree with me that it's not comedy. And people are similar to food, you know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, that's not how that is made. This is how that's it. And I find that exhausting and such a waste of energy. Like, there's enough of problems in the world. And so my brother and I joked about this morning, because he knew what I was going to be cooking. And, you know, he's like, oh, can't wait to see first the Sri Lankans get excited about the lunamirris and the kiribat. But then as soon as you're including a curry from another country, they're like, they're going to riot in the streets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it just, I mean, that's the thing. And both your girls would know that, you know, in season 13, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of whatever. And, you know, at the end of the day, social media is not real life. Don't worry about it.
Do you guys have any on an ongoing basis? Sorry, Melanie, you were saying?
I think in our season, we particularly, we particularly got either a lot of love or maybe hate for the idea that we cook curries or shouldn't be allowed eating something. And the thing is, it's not repetitive. Like, you can't compare a rendang to a rezala or anything like that. But if you're showcasing food from your cuisine, or if you say, hey, this is what I want to cook, or this is what is the brief, yeah, of course, like, it would be so ridiculous not to say I didn't hear that. Of course I did. But at the end of the day, I've received so much and just positive feedback, and I get to work in the industry I try to set foot into. I have good work. I work with good organizations. I work with good people. So I created a very strong impact by sticking to my guns and just keeping my head down and going through what I did. So at the end of the day, yes, there'll be opinions on Twitter or social media or whatever it is. And if it doesn't affect your work, and if it doesn't affect you chasing your dreams, yeah, thanks, Jock. See, but
no, just Twitter. It's just like, come on, man. You know,
it's to you, Kishwa.
You know, somebody asked me in an interview the other day about, you know, online trolling and Twitter and all the rest of it. It's like, I remember when I was at school, if you had a problem with someone or you wanted to, you know, tell someone that they were shy or whatever, you had to stand in front of them and eyeball them and tell them, you know what I mean? And be prepared to back up your opinion as well, there and then. It's like all that stuff on Twitter and people get so hung up about it. Don't worry about it.
I have to say, it's not just social media or faceless people or people hiding behind, you know, these are not just keyboard warriors. I know my fellow contestants said, oh, I got eliminated off air. I was doing the press rounds, and one of the questions that he was asked was, does Kishwa cook too many curries? And he's like, what kind of...
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say while your kids are around. Sorry. Sorry. But that's so reductive as a journalist to even ask that question. It's so
but you know what, I think anyone who sort of puts their foot into it, MasterChef season 13, Manoli and my season particularly, we did really see a lot more regional cooking from South Asia. There was a lot of that, we can't deny it. And I think it's great. Anything you see for the first time, you are going to get something that's different is going to stir up a conversation, and it might be hard to accept, but look, we're putting it out there. And if it stirred up a conversation, if this is what gets people talking about it, or, you know, looking it up, finding out about it, then that's fine. I think it just makes it easier for the next generation. And the reason I put myself out there was so that my kids don't grow up having face this. Either someone's got to sort of rip that bag open and say, hey, not all curry is cooked with, I don't know, garam masala. Like, there are different techniques of cooking curry. There are different curries. There are different countries in South Asia as well. I've never heard of the dish that you cook dilruk, but now I'm going to look it up on 10 Plate. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all know each other. We don't all each other's food. It's so important to have that space, and MasterChef Australia gave us that platform and gave us that space, and it was fantastic, aside from all the other food we cooked. So it was hard, and it was racist, and it was rude, but you know what, if we all talk about it and we celebrate it, then my kids don't have to do it 20 years from now.
Kishwa, are you in the North Pole?
I went for a walk. I ran home, and I've been sitting in front of the TV watching Celebrity MasterChef, and I haven't taken off my jacket yet. And Dilruk, sort of like, we just all started talking on this live. So yeah, I look like I'm in the North Pole.
I just remember two things that obviously, like, the two of you, Kishwa and Manoli, like, y'all went from, you know, cooking at home to this big platform. So that leap must be quite different to say us, you know, in the celebrity media. A little bit of hate and things like that. Like, I'll never forget this time that I was in this really backward hick down Gold Coast, and there was this guy within like 3 minutes of being on stage in a 40-minute set. I just started, and he just sat up the front and he just said, "Piss off stage, you curry munching prick." Like, it started 3 minutes ago. Obviously, in that format, I've got like a bit of power. I've got the microphone, and and I have my tools ready to go. But I find it's a completely different environment when it's on social media. And in fact, Josh, it reminded me a couple of months ago, you screenshot like a fairly vicious one that someone posted, right? And you said, this is like, there are so many different bits of hate you get, but this one takes the cake, and you're kind of laughing with it. Because I think
I remember that one, actually.
Ori beads as anal beads, I believe, for starters.
Yeah.
But what I found interesting about that is I commented very sarcastically saying, I said, come on, chef. That was a private text message I sent you. No need to share it publicly or something like that. And there were a couple of people that commented going, why would you say that to him? Why why do you think it's okay to talk to other people like that? I'm like, it's a joke. Like there's no way that I actually done that. But people just see what they want to see, and they want to just jump on.
That's right. It is what it is. But I mean, I've got to say, I think the other difference between Dilruk, I'm not going to say that you had it easy and that you stole a MasterChef cap, but the difference between you and the two girls is that you didn't have to leave your family for 6 months. Like the girls' massive commitment in the main series, you know, there's a up to sort of, you know, like close to 6 months of leaving your family and that commitment of, you know, not only distancing yourself from your kids and whatnot, but like that period of time, particularly under COVID, when there was so many times where no one was allowed to travel back home, it was tough for the girls, you know, like really, just such a long period of time. Like I think everyone, season 13, I think was tough. I think will go down as one of the toughest for the contestants.
Well,
also, I guess because of COVID, I guess travel restrictions were in place, and a lot of the filming had to be done in the studio. So you guys had to get really creative, I guess,
right?
Didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, with the challenges, and you know,
Absolutely.
we didn't get to go to Japan. I was like, we're going to go to Japan. We're going to go to Japan. Surely COVID's going to finish. Not.
PTSD, I think, is very real because even season 13 finalist Pete messaged me. He told me that there was a week after the show had finished, one of his daughters had a nightmare, ran into his bedroom, and he was consoling her, saying, "It's going to be okay, Kishwa." He called his own daughter.
I'm going to call Daddy for that.
Apparently his daughter, he saw you and his daughter.
Wow.
Well,
unbelievable.
True story.
Came like a family, because there was times where, you know, each one of us were going, no, this is a hard week, or this has been a particular hard stretch. So we all sort of banded around and became each other's caretakers as well. Like it was tough, and we went from 2020 to that huge lockdown straight into filming in October, which went till May. For, you know, the three of us, we got out I think middle of May. So it was a really long haul, but it was also that the world had changed so much. I think in Melbourne we came out, went into another lockdown. Jock, how's it been for you? Because you have a really young family and you've gone through lockdowns and filming.
It's just become a blur now, the whole lockdown thing in Australia. It's like, and you know, I don't know, I've got family in Italy, I've got family in Scotland, and you know, not knowing that you can't get home if there's an emergency, knowing that you can't, you know, you forget about the affluenza of, you know, I can't travel. Okay, you know, like we all wish we could travel, go on holidays and experience different cultures or whatever, but I think at the same time, not being able, for me, you know, I've got more than, I call home more than just Australia, and so not being able to go home, I've found tough. And then, like I say, it's been a blur. It's just, we in Melbourne, we've just gone from, you know, lockdown to lockdown to lockdown to lockdown to lockdown, you know, and we were never supposed to be here for this long. We were supposed to be back in Sydney, really, and then we couldn't leave Melbourne. And it's like, okay, so I'm kind of jailed. Not that Victoria is a bad place to be jailed in, but when you're in lockdown, you know, I don't know.
life when
I was
you're
Somewhere warmer would have been better, right?
Like Darwin.
There was a week before that. I was after we went to lockdown. I was meant to be in Darwin, and we were gonna hang out, and I was gonna try some of your cooking. Quiche, we talked about it as well. In fact, a friend of mine just yesterday had his wife's birthday, and the birthday meal was from Tonka. And I was like, "Did you get quichwas?" He's like, "Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of quichua stuff as well." So
you know, the lockdown that we're in right now.
Hello.
So the lockdown that we're in, we went into flash lockdown the night that I was launching at Tonka. So we had the lunch service. I was there. People were ready to walk through the doors. We had a few hours to shut down the whole service, everything that we had worked like the better part of a month to get that menu and make all of that together. And then, we just packed down, and it was like the flash lockdown. That was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think we had something similar 2 weekends before that. August 4th or 5th, and now we're in October.
Do you know what? I've got an idea. You should go to Darwin and just set up a restaurant there. They're hankering for good food. Let me tell you. Do you know I'm opening up a place with 3 friends in Darwin? Just because, I'm just going to do it. Who knows? It might suck, whatever. I'm just going to do it.
Well, I
do it.
Not enough live content anymore.
And you,
so
YOLO. Like, my future me will be like, why? But, right now, I don't have time to think about that. So,
hey,
Jock, I might need some tips.
Whoever Jesse Kaka Pants is, saying Jock set an employee on fire, just spend $30, Jesse, buy the book, it's all in there. But there's heaps of stories in there, not just that one. So good on you for trolling, but
see, there's always one.
There's always one.
Jock, always.
That's the experience chef Tina, isn't it, Jock? You can see you're looking at multiple things at the same time, and I was like, I didn't even notice that.
Fucking idiot. There's always one, as you say.
It's a dickhead-free zone. Always.
And that's what Jock was talking about with us getting along in season 14 or Celebrity version, is there wasn't really any dickheads. There was 10 of us. We kind of hit the ground running. Some of met for the first time. Like Tilly didn't know any of us, and I think it was this genuine camaraderie of everyone. Maybe it's because, like I was saying to you, Keish, at the start, that maybe the expectations of what we had to do less, that we let's just band around and make sure that we look after each other. And not that you guys didn't, but I meant that it wasn't necessarily something that we just all felt out of our depth. We felt so out of our comfort zone. Even Tilly, I make fun of her for having Gordon as her dad or whatever. But the truth is, it's a lot of pressure for her to be Gordon Ramsay's daughter. The expectation of that alone is tough. You know what I mean? So I think that's as you said, dickhead-free zone is probably a great policy for every television set, every movie set. Just go, this is a dickhead-free zone. So yeah, that person.
I have got one question for you before I go, Del Rookie. Still cooking?
Yep. Can I be honest? So August 3rd to date, I have had takeaway only 3 times. I've cooked every single meal on my own after that. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I promise. Everything just it's what I said to the girls beforehand, is that it forced going on the show forced me to learn stuff. And it pushed me past that pain barrier of the learning curve when everything sucks. Where why am I? There's just mess everywhere. It doesn't taste good. You got to clean up afterwards. All that I managed to push through to the point where now I'm really excited with different challenges. And I will actually push myself out of my comfort zone to try something I've never tried before now, which didn't happen before the show, because I'm living in the CBD in Melbourne. I am 10 minutes away from one of the best versions of it. Why would I bother trying to cook it? And now all of a sudden I'm like, no, I should try this. You know what I mean? I think pastry was something that I'm really afraid of and I'm yet to get into, but that's next on my agenda. You know what I mean? I'm going to learn how to actually.
So is Archie after tonight's episode.
Oh no, that was heartbreaking because the beef was so perfect and the music.
The beef was perfect. Yeah.
The editing
The
of the
pastry was
The music.
it doesn't you up, and it's like, but the pastry. Oh.
yeah, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to jump off. It's great to see you two girls. Dilruk, great to
Yeah,
see you
you
two,
too,
mate.
Jack.
Thank you, Jock. Thanks for jumping in, and you know, looking forward to the feedback that you're going to give me over the next couple of weeks on this show.
Mate, I'll see you all soon, and I'll be waiting for the odd text here and there for inspiration about what you're cooking for your missus when you get up there.
All right, mate. I will. Sounds good.
All right. See you, girls.
See you, Jack.
Ciao, bye.
See you, ladies, as well. Thank you so much for jumping in. This is really fun. I've never done anything like this before, so I don't know how it would have gone if it was just me by myself here. So I really. So,
You do it. That's what you do best, mate. Like, that's
Yeah.
what you do best.
have
You probably do better.
you got some advice for me now, knowing obviously the show is over, right? In terms of the
Yep.
cooking bit. So this is now all the parts of now that the show is going to air. Have you got any parting words of wisdom for me? Would you?
So my only one is that recipes are pretty exact, but what's more exact than a recipe is an intuitive cook. So just listen to your senses, keep practicing, keep making mistakes, and just keep building that confidence in cooking, because you're not born with it. Like, you just have to practice. Yeah.
So like you're in the similar boat as Jock making fun of me for measuring salt.
Yeah, that was a backhanded no. Keep cooking, and then it's so satisfying. Like, it's like a different form of creativity and an art form, in my opinion, and it's just like another outlet to, it's like an artist. You're an artist now.
Well, I realize there's a similarity with what I do. I guess being a comedian means there's some insecurity in me that wants me to get people to like me by making them laugh. And now I realized I can do that with cooking as well. By cooking something, I'm like, hey, please if you like this, that means I'm worthy of your love.
No way. I'm going to challenge you on that. And I say that it's about connection. And connection is like, especially in Sri Lankan culture, and same in Bengali and South Asian culture, like family and connection, and it's very different to the kind of, I don't want to say Western culture, but the culture in South Asian countries is different. And I think connection and family and big groups of connection is so important. And I think that's what you do with comedy. So yeah.
Thanks.
No worries.
I guess post MasterChef, now that it's done, you're on the right track. You're not on Twitter, so that's a really positive thing for your mindset. And the second thing,
not to get too serious too quickly necessarily, but this is something I've talked about publicly in the past, so I'm happy to talk about it again. It's like I made a call to, like, during the pandemic last year. Obviously, things were piling up, and I did feel like I needed to reach out and get help from Lifeline, and I called them, and it was really beneficial. But I realized one of the reasons that started me off was Twitter, and I went, wait a second, nothing in life, in career or anything, is if it's going to end up me needing to put my hand up and ask for help from a wonderful service that I'm grateful we have in Australia, because obviously I live alone and my family being away makes it harder for me to lean on people when I need. So I'm really grateful I have it. But I went, why am I letting a social media platform have such an impact on me? Because this is meant to be fun. I got into this job to have fun. So for me, it was an easy delete from there. And Instagram, for the most part, has been nice. So yeah.
For me and Mino, I guess for me, it was the first time seeing myself on television, and there is a certain level of discomfort about that, because I guess you've already had a career in this, and you've seen yourself on a very public platform before.
Awesome. And I love.
Pardon?
Plus, I'm an egomaniac, and I love the sound of my voice and my.
Yeah, if you love it already, that's fine. So I was going to say you've completed Twitter, but if there's something coming up that's particularly hard, because look, food is very, very personal. I saw it on your face in tonight's episode when they called you to the front of the line, and then when they called out your name. I know in the IV you deflected it with comedy, and that's probably how you deal with it, but it is personal. What we eat, what we cook, it is such a reflection of who we are, and it comes from the heart, across everybody's culture. Like, again, I said, like Rebecca, Chrissy, like when they share their stories, it touches your heart, and it transcends through your TV screen. So if there's ever a time that you feel maybe uncomfortable, or you're going to share something, if you need to like shut it down or hide because you don't know how it's going to be received, do that. Because I think that's how that was like 1 or 2 episodes where I felt like, oh no, like, and I know sometimes it's received really well and everyone loves you. I get messages even now because it's airing now in the UK. So it airs times in the world. So we know when it airs in South Africa, because, we'll get a lot of fans from South Africa. We know when it's airing in Malaysia. So right now it's playing in the UK. They're actually up to the episode where we had the cook along with Curtis Stone, because some people specifically tell me, like, we saw you cut your finger today, like, how well informed I am with what's happening in the world through to write to me. But what I'm saying is, if it's too much, if you need to shut it down. And someone, I promise you, Dilruk, will tell you that it's the wrong recipe, or that's not the right thing, or this is not how we do it, or then it's your food, it's your version, it's what you put there. So like, just stand by.
Authenticity is key. Do not forget that. Like, who gives a shit what anyone else says? You do you, bro, like, all the time. And if you make a mistake, whatever, just you do you. And
there's one that I call, like, specifically even in the titles, I said, make sure you refer it to as Mum's Paradas, because I was like, I don't care how many thousands of versions there are out there. This is what my mum told me how to make it, and I'm just covering my eyes. Don't come at me. And it's a thing. It's one of those. I guess it's the positives of having a popular show like this is all those, the reach it has. Unfortunately, it does have to come with a little bit of sourness. I suppose it's like a balanced meal, right? You sweet and sour. You need a little bit of both.
But don't forget how happy people are. Like, so many millions of people are so happy to often see this for the first time on mainstream television. Think about how overjoyed they are. And if they're saying that you left the potato out of the samosa or something like that, don't worry, it's because they care.
Well, for me, though, the reach thing is one of the big reasons I was excited about saying yes to the show. Was that it's one of the few shows that gets aired in Sri Lanka at some point. And my auntie, my mom's sister, I don't think she's ever left the country. I don't know, but she knows Jock, Melissa, she knows you guys, you know what I mean? The fact that the TV shows that I've done here, they might see it on YouTube or, illegally, but this will be actually on their screens in, normal TV. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Exciting. Anyway, good luck for your journey, Brooke. We are
good luck. You guys want to shout out? You guys, you've got Tonka, Kishwa, and Minoli. You've started your own work as well.
Yeah, doing a couple of things, but working on opening a restaurant in Darwin. And obviously I will not be the chef, but it will be a Sri Lankan kind of South Asian inspired, like South Indian Sri Lankan restaurant. Think Chin Chin vibes, like just something fun, somewhere where I want to be. That's it. Like, that's, again, authentic to me. Trying to create that up in Darwin with 3 of my really good friends, and gonna give it a shot. We're just taking over like a place that, like, because a lot of places shut down and there's spaces available. So doing it, fingers crossed. Just pray for me, all right? Pray for me. I might be on the street with the please money for my Chanel bag. I do not have a Chanel bag, by the way, but one of those signs next year.
In Edinburgh 2 years ago, in 2018, I was in the rain with flyers trying to get people to come to my show, because Edinburgh is a new market, and there was 4 people. I had 4 pre-sold tickets, and I was trying to get a few more people in this 80-seater, and it hit me in that moment. I'm like, 2 months ago I won a Logie, but here I am now in the rain. So we all go through ups and downs in life, mate. So, but if it was easy, then everyone would do it. But the fact that you're doing it is why it's going to be that much more rewarding when it all comes to good.
Yeah, it's just like you learn to hustle. MasterChef taught me how to hustle and hustle for the things that I love. And I think it's just like the best lesson that I could have ever gotten, ever. Best ever.
And Richard said, you know, the restaurant sounds amazing already. So you've got some fans, man, already. So for sure, you're gonna.
Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, thanks for. I've just like, you know, when you like come onto a live call after like being on a high, because at the start I was like, yeah, do yes, he's gonna do it, yes, she'll like, and then you won, and I was like, whoa, my head cannot handle this right now, my little brain. And then jumping on this live, I was just so proud, and seeing kiribat, which is like a celebratory dish, which is simple but it's so delicious. And it's used like on Sri Lankan New Year, so I don't know if people know that.
Yeah. And annually, this is not a joke, but it's the truth. It sounds like a joke, but the AFL Grand Final morning, that's my little tradition that I started in the country in 2004. I was like, all right, every Grand Final day, I'm going to make a little bit of kiribat. Then there is like a post from about 5 years ago when my team Hawthorn was there with the kiribat, the scarf, and a VB next to it.
Oh.
Breakfast.
Yes. Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to watching however you go. But you know what? You won the immunity pin, and no one can take that from you. That's
exactly.
it.
For
yeah,
me,
amazing work.
For me, the win invited on the show, everything from here is just bonus. So the pin itself is just takes it to that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Congratulations, fantastic opening.
Say again. Sorry, I missed that.
Congratulations on a fantastic opening season.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And take care, both of you. Hopefully, we'll get to catch up. You realize this is the first time I've spoken to you guys, like ever. We've chatted on Instagram and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Make it happen in real life some point soon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be amazing. We can do a big cook up all together. That would be even better.
I'll bring the rent down.
100%. It sounds like you're gonna. Do you know what? I feel like you're the person that's like, nah, guys, nah, everything's shit. Bam. Like set expectations like below, like 6 feet under, and then I'm
so offended. Going so well, and now you've offended me. No, because this is the thing. People are going to think I lied and like hustle, but the truth is I spoke my 100% truth, which is that I hadn't cooked until last year, and then when the show I knew was coming, I practiced a lot.
Yeah, and it's all about practice. I'm really excited to watch the rest of the show.
We have this saying, which is, if you've eaten well, you can cook well, even if you've never learned to cook. So
I love that. Give us the original dialect. How is it said?
I think it's something like যে ঘরে ভালো খায় সে ঘরে ভালো রাঁধে. So if you've grown up in a house where you've eaten really well, you're going to know what seasoning is about. You're going to try and achieve that food. When you love to eat, you are going to try and achieve that when you cook. So that's what it is. It's something there inside you that knows how to get it out there and get beautiful.
It is spot on, because I said this in one of the radio interviews in the lead up as well, saying that what is your strength? I said my strength is eating, which is that I knew what it's meant to taste like. Yep. So if it's not, then I can adjust. But if it's something completely fresh and out of my comfort zone, then I'm not going to know whether it's good or bad. You know, like pie, texture, or whatever, making from scratch. But curry, like that stuff, I'm like, well, this doesn't taste like grandma's. So, you know.
So like it's easy to piece that together because you've just eaten it. You've eaten good curry, or you've eaten that particular dish for so many years. It's like in your DNA.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have a question for you, because there are going to be so many people in your position who haven't cooked their whole lives, and maybe are almost like too nervous to cook because maybe their partner or friend or someone has cooked the majority of the time.
Yeah.
What can you say to everyone that might be in that position?
First thing I'll say is come and see my comedy festival show next year. I'll explain it all. But but no, I will say have a crack, because it might take a little bit of time to get there. But when you do, it's just like, for me personally, even the reason I said yes to the show, when Marty Benson, the producer, told me about it, I said, look, I haven't cooked in a long time, whatever, but I love a challenge. I love pushing myself out of my comfort zone, because when I look back at my life, the things that I'm proud of, forget whatever else anyone thinks is worthy or not. The things that I'm generally proud of are all things that happened in discomfort. You know, nothing good happened in the comfort zone. So for me, I've started leaning into the comfort zone, into discomfort a lot more, and I keep trying things. So for me now, I'm lucky to be in a position now when I say yes to a project, it's not about money. For me, it's about, am I going to have fun or am I going to learn? And it's both. So not only was I knew at a bare minimum, even if I get kicked out on episode 1, that I'm going to walk away with some skills that I can use in real life. So to those people who are out there who might not cook yet, there is a learning curve. I found it was really tough initially to push through that pain barrier. Like, just even the simplest thing, like you saw in the show, I didn't know how to boil water without a kettle. Like, I was like, wait, where's the kettle, you know? But once you push through, things start to, like with anything else, become second nature. You know, now when I cook at home, I don't measure my salt. I just put it in my hand. I'm like, that's about it. That's a spoon and just dip it in. So I would say give it a crack, because once and what I would say advice-wise, maybe nail one thing, like try and practice the same thing over and over again. And then you can be, you know, that can be a speciality, and then you can adapt from there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
It was really lovely chatting to you guys. And I have kids around like zombies right now. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much. Good luck for the rest of the season. And Min, I can't wait to eat with you again.
Yeah. Just like cook, even see you face to face.
I know.
Yeah. Because I'm in Melbourne now at the moment.
Now?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Mate, for a picnic.
Oh my God. We totally could. Are you in Melbourne?
I'm in Melbourne. Yeah, Kish, you're in
Kish,
Melbourne.
are you in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, this is not that hard. Okay.
So we did it live, guys. We could have just met here today within our safe radius zone on a picnic rug outdoors with masks on.
Yeah, freezing. No thanks. I'm from Darwin. Let's not forget that. Yeah.
Ish was, you know, with she's in the North Pole. That's what you need.
Oh, I know. Don't you worry. My beanie, I didn't grab it on the way.
All right.
Anyway, all right. I'll leave you to it. Amazing to chat to both of you.
Cheers,
I'll
guys.
see you guys later. Good luck, Dilruk. I'll be cheering you on. See ya.
There we go. See ya. Hopefully I use the pin before I get.
Yeah. Oh, see ya.
We'll see. All right. Bye, Manoli.
See ya.
All right. Thank you, everyone who joined in. Let me see. I actually didn't get around to any of the questions. Just to finish up here, let me quickly fire off through some of the questions here. so Sadika has asked, how do you boil water? Good question, man. You took the pot. You apparently put the fire on and put a pot on top of it and put some water in there. Will tonight's recipes be available? Yes, Liz, it'll be on the MasterChef website. The recipe for all three are there. Can you, Shihab has said, can you guys say something in your native language? Oh, okay. I can say, Shihab, okay, can you hear, Dilruk, you did us Australians proud with, what? Oh, sorry. So, can you hear has said, Dilruk, you did us Auslankans proud with the Kiribat, Lunamiris combo, and then you cross-cultured it with the top rendang. Genius. How do you know that the combo, how did you know that combo would be heaven? I think it was the coconut, because the Kiribat's obviously coconut milk, and the rendang has a lot of coconut. And I thought that's going to be a nice little combination of the two. Plus, it's also the only curry that I knew. So there's that. Feast and Foodie said, how has MasterChef impacted your life the most? Mainly, it is that I cook the majority of my meals now. People who came and saw my stand-up show last year, or this last tour, Victoria's Line, I had like 5 minutes about how much I hate cooking and why I don't cook, especially living alone and things like that. So that's where most of my, I would say the way it's changed me is I literally now, in fact, like I go to now I know like where in Vic markets to go and get my, where I can find galangal and all these types of things. So that's probably the biggest question there. Jo, someone asked Jock, can you say 10 minutes left now? 10 minutes. Which judge is the funniest? Sheila has asked. That's a tough one because they all three of them made me laugh at some point or the other. But I would say Jock has a roasting sense of humor, like sort of, ribbing, gentle roasting, ribbing kind of thing. That's more my style of humor as well. So I like, well, for me, I feel like when someone makes fun of you, that's their way of showing respect. That's how I at least look at the world. So I think for me, Jock's sense of humor is very much in line with mine. And what was going through your mind? This is the last question. Ravindra has asked, what was going through your mind and how did you feel? I think, okay, this being the last question, I'll just finish off by saying, yeah, I guess I felt super nervous. I felt like an imposter, to be honest. Like I definitely felt privileged that I got asked to do it, but at the same time, I was like, why am I here? I shouldn't be here. So my hope was that I at least cook something that the judges thought was good, and wasn't shit. And to be able to do that in the first episode, not only cook something that they thought was good, but they thought was the best on the day, was pretty awesome. And so for me, that was, just incredible just to know that's how everything started. But nerves, yeah, like feeling completely imposter syndrome, I would say, was the overbearing feeling. But along with not only, even before the result was given tonight, I genuinely felt really proud. I know it's weird. In Australia, we have tall poppy syndrome. We don't say that we should be proud or whatever. We try to meant to talk it down, but I don't care. I was really proud of the fact that I had a dish like kiribat in this, this Aussie show that gets broadcast globally. The fact that, something that is so traditional to Sri Lanka was something that I was able to bring into this kitchen. I'm sure maybe people in the past have made it, I don't know, but I'm just saying the fact that I was able to do that. And Lunamiris, you know what I mean? It's these two things that seem staple back home. The fact that I did in MasterChef is something I'm truly proud of. So yeah, there you go. The things I was feeling like an imposter as well as feeling proud. So anyway, that's all I think for me. This has gone a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So thank you everyone for joining in, because I didn't know how this was going to go. Not just the show, but even this Instagram live. So it was nice that Jock, Manoli and Kishwa joined as well. So huge thank you to them. Someone said, did you have hakuru? I did. I couldn't find hakuru, but I had palm sugar. So if you look at the picture that I posted on Instagram, there's a little bit of palm sugar there that was there to replace the hakuru or jaggery. But I think that's about all the questions there. I am going to get out of here. Thank you everyone for the wonderful support, and please watch the rest of the show, the rest of the season, and hope you enjoyed. That's all for me tonight. Thank you again for all the support. Have a good night, and yeah, go jump on the website and find out what that rendang recipe is. See you later. Bye bye.